A close call for our Newsmax correspondents after almost being caught in the crossfire in Ukraine. Our senior correspondent, John Huddy, is on the ground there to tell us more about the experience. John.
Yeah, hey, Tom. So we were just south of Zaporizhia, which is where I am now, the city in the southern part of the country. And we went into a village about 30 miles outside the city. And it's a village, actually, that we'd been to before earlier this week to basically meet up with some evacuees there. And while we were there, we heard some fighting. It was pretty quiet. But anyway, so we went there yesterday. And really, the purpose of our visit was to go to a medical unit, basically a building that was being used as a frontline hospital to interview, doctors, surgeons, people that were being treated there. When a location right next to it came under fire, and in fact, once we showed up, we heard there was basically incoming and outgoing fire when we got into this village. Then we arrived there into this small parking lot, got out, and we heard a boom. And then as I looked at the video last night and then today, not to sound too dramatic here and overly dramatic, but you could hear the whistle of a tank round and then the impact at a location, at a target that must have been anywhere from 50 to 100 yards right next to this hospital, this building that we were at. So we were essentially on the receiving end almost of incoming tank fire. And then it really became even more progressive and more intense after that. I was there with Jim Lechner and our team, Ayub, our photographer, and Alexei, our fixer and translator. And we were in this medical unit, and there was basically incoming fire, outgoing fire, and then small arms fire, machine gun fire. So basically what it was emblematic of the ongoing fight in the south and some of these towns and villages where Russian forces are pushing in and trying to push through and put pressure on the Ukrainian lines that are guarding all these areas just to the south of Zaporizhia. We saw that earlier in the week, not only in this town, but another village that we ventured out to just south of us. That's really, and I can't say this enough, it is on the front lines. And if you look at kind of a map, you'll see that, and basically just south, as you go, further south, you end up in Mariupol, about 100 miles, but just about 25, 30 miles, that's all Russian-controlled territory. So this is a very intensive, significant fight that's happening here and also in the eastern part of the country, in the Donbass region, Donetsk, Luhansk, Kramatorsk, under very intense bombardment right now. But Ukrainian forces have actually repelled the Russian attacks in Kharkiv, in and around Kharkiv, and have actually launched counteroffensives. And we were in Kharkiv about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and we also saw basically the dueling artillery and armored fighting, the battle, the grinding fight of artillery. And that's really, that's emblematic of what's happening in this war in the east and in the south, and just kind of a real-time point of view for you right now. Odessa, to the west of us, is coming under intense bombardment, and there's concerns that basically the Russian offensive is going to increase going into, throughout the weekend, Sunday, and then V-Day, Victory Day, Monday in Russia. They're going to try to launch a greater campaign, taking out fuel depots, taking out military infrastructure. And on that note, Tom, there's a gas shortage here in the country. We're actually, we were going to travel to some of these regions again today, but we don't have enough gas. The only way you can get gas is if you get government or military approval, and it's really having a big effect here in the country thus far.
Well, John, we know here that you and our Newsmax team are perhaps have gone the furthest east of any Western reporters, and you've gotten as close to that front. And I've been in that situation where you can feel the concussion, even though you're not right next to it. You can actually feel it kind of hit your body. Is definitely a jarring experience. And John, to you and the whole team, please stay safe. Thank you for that report.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Thank you.
As John Huddy was saying, May 9th is Victory Day in Russia, a day where the nation celebrates the defeat of the Nazis during World War II. Ukraine's prime minister believes that Vladimir Putin may use the day to escalate the war in Ukraine. President may be running out of missiles. Joining us now to discuss is Michigan Congresswoman Lisa McClain. She's a member of the House Armed Services Committee. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being here. May 9th, Congresswoman, is significant. It's a symbolic day in Russia where Putin can kind of make the case to the people that the war must go on and potentially even expand. What do you expect to see coming out of Moscow on Monday?
Well, I expect to see Putin put on a show. That is for sure. And I think he needs to. Listen, no one thought, or I should say, everyone thought that the war would be over in days. And here we are. And Zelensky and the Ukrainian people are holding strong and holding tough. But we are dealing with an extremely evil man. He's not logical. He does not have a nice bone in his body, and he will stop at nothing to get what he wants. He's definitely going to put on a show. He's definitely going to try and flip the narrative or spin the narrative to his people. But even his people know that what he is doing is wrong, or I should say some of his people at least know that. Look, he is a war criminal. The world knows that. And we need to be supportive of Ukraine and their people.
Congresswoman, not to put you on the spot, but that's kind of my job. So there's a lot of loose talk coming out of the Kremlin and Russian state media about nuclear weapons. And it is suspected that Putin would be willing, because he's in a desperate situation, as you point out, to use chemical or tactical nuclear weapons. If he were to do that, what sort of American military response or American diplomatic response should we prepare to use to counter it?
Well, I think that, the diplomatic piece, as much as everyone says that is what is needed, we've tried that. Weakness breeds aggression. And we've tried to be diplomatic, and we've tried to be cautious, and because we didn't want him to use nuclear force. Nobody wants that. The world doesn't want that. So if he does do that, I think that it's going to be a grave mistake. And at some point in time, we are definitely going to have to do a response because he's a bully, and we have to show,
some options. I mean, give us one thing, because I think a lot of Americans are wondering, all right, if he does take this to the next level, what's the type of thing that we can do?
Well, it's been a big range. So there isn't a common decisive, if he does X, we're going to do Y. I can tell you that there's not clarity. There's a lot of hope, and hope isn't a good strategy. But to answer your question, I think if he goes nuclear, I think all bets are off the table, and we need to respond swiftly and justly with some desperate times called for desperate measures. I'll say that. I don't think anyone wants to do that.
Right.
But at some point in time, there has to be a line in the sand that we just can't let him cross.
Now, Congresswoman, intelligence sources are reporting that the Chinese have upped their urban warfare training. We know that they're increasing their nuclear stockpile. With all of the focus on Russia, what do we need to be doing to deter China as they continue to make aggressive moves militarily and economically, not just in the Pacific Rim, but really all around the world?
Well, first and foremost, we need to, keep our eye on China, of which I think we're doing. Just because we don't talk about it every day in the news doesn't mean we're not keeping an eye on it. But no different, we should learn from what happened with Russia, is they don't build up their military and do training exercises like they did for no reason. There's always a motive. There's always an agenda. So one, we need to learn from that. And number two, we need to continue to build up our forces. And we need to continue to show strength. That is the number one, I believe, deterrent. Because it's no different than if you have two cars on the side of the road and one is open with the $20 bill on the hood and the other's locked up and has one of those low jack bars on the steering wheel. Which one are you gonna rob? It's
Right.
common sense. So we need to make sure that we are building up our strength, that America is strong, and that we have the power and the willingness to let the world know that we are strong and we will lead. And that, I think, is the most one of the most critical things we can do for deterrence.
Exit question for you. Just yes or no, Congresswoman. If the Republicans take back control of the House, would you be in favor of increasing military spending to be a larger portion of GDP than what the Biden administration has proposed?
The short answer, since you asked me a yes or no question, is yes. But I will give you one caveat.
Sure.
We need to make sure we are good stewards of our money, because without our country being safe and our borders being secure, everything else is a far second, in my opinion.
All right, Congresswoman McClain, happy Mother's Day to you, and thank you so much for being with us, ma'am.
And happy Mother's Day to all of you out there.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.